The guy who I thought was least likely today is a professional speaker and one of the most knowledgeable men I know in cancer research. Can I share a story?
Yeah, please.
I had a learning challenge when I was a child. I had a speech impediment with reading. I didn't read till I had a lot of challenges in learning. And about 18, I decided I was going to start going to a dictionary. I was going to pronounce words 20 times, write the words 20 times, use it in a sentence 20 times, and give the meaning 20 times. And every night, my mom would test me 30 new words that I went over 20 times each before I was with her. And I grew my vocabulary significantly. If you add 30 words a day times 365 at the end of a couple of years, it's a lot of words. So I grew my vocabulary extensively, and I went from the bottom of my class, failed, to the top of the class. You know, it's work. But, you know, that's, people don't understand that, you know, sometimes it's work involved. But I grew my vocabulary, and I ended up having the ability to eventually speed reading. I started out not knowing how to read, and I eventually learned how to speed read. Well, I was teaching speed reading at the University of Houston each term, and I started doing it in professional school. I taught it in professional school each term. Students all came, not all, and there was a gentleman that came into my class that had very, very specialized glass with a telescope on it, and he was basically blind. But if you looked at this little telescope, he could make out each letter character, and he could spell the words in it. He also had a muffled voice because he was sort of deaf, partly blind, and mute.
Killer.
But he came to my speed reading course. And the first time he came there, his name was Doug. And the first time he came there, I thought, no way there's no possible way this guy's going to pull this off. I did the program again 3 or 4 months later for the next term. There he was again. But this time he must have practiced more than anybody else. He was able to start to do it. He came again the next term and the next term. And when I finally graduated from professional school, Doug asked, since I wasn't going to be speaking there again, if he could carry on the torch and continue the
Aww.
So the guy who I thought was least likely to be able to read and to speak properly today is a professional speaker who is voluminously read and one of the most knowledgeable men I know in cancer research. So all I can say is that, you know, if you just stay with something and you don't give up on it, you just might surprise yourself and transform and exemplify what's possible for others. It's giving yourself permission to shine, not shrink, to go and persevere. As Albert Einstein said, perseverance is one of the greatest keys to achievement. But if you just don't stop, you eventually get there. If every single day you move another little step closer to what you're set out to do, it becomes your destiny. There's no way you not get it. It's just staying with it. You know, it's like Elon Musk. You know, he's had explosion after explosion, setback after setback. But in one of the interviews by 60 Minutes, he says, I never give up. I just keep going. And that's the difference between somebody who's really congruent and aligned with what their real value is, because it's a calling, and somebody is just trying a little thing out, seeing if they can succeed at it.
Watch all of my episodes with Dr. Demartini and Evan Carmichael in the playlist Minute with a Millionaire. It's right here. Click the screen or the description.
Those, if they get setbacks, they give up.
If you don't, the only thing is the only time you fail is when you stop trying.
That's it.
You know,
and really failure is nothing but feedback to let you know that what you're pursuing isn't deeply meaningful. And if you give up, it wasn't really meaningful. So it basically it screened out the things that weren't highest priority and got you back to what is.
On the next episode with Dr. Demartini,
you have to acknowledge that you're worth it. If we expect others to do that, before we do that, we'll be waiting a while.